I probably don't need to tell you, if you have a window well, how nasty they can be and annoying, because every year you're going to have to clear out all this stuff, all the leaves, even trash. You might find dead mice. There's going to be lots of spiders in there. There's plants that start growing. It's just really annoying. And I'm getting kind of sick of it. I really want to just put some bricks down and have it really easy to clean up. This is the window well I'm going to get started on first. I've already removed all the leaves and trash, dug down a few inches because I want the top of the brick not near the window, at least a few inches lower than here, so that when the snow falls in the winter, it's not immediately piled up against the window and maybe leaking back inside. So that's probably something you want to think about. So the process is going to be level this out a bit, which I've already done. You can tamp it with one of these, but just use a brick or a paver, whatever you're going to use, and just flatten it down a bit. Then I'm going to put some landscaping fabric down, and that allows the water to go through, but it doesn't allow the sand to kind of get sifted down into the rocks there. Then we are going to put on a bit of sand, put the pavers down, and then a little bit of more sand on the top of that, so it locks everything in place. So I've already bought the bricks, and I spent about 30 bucks on this. This is a 3 foot this way and 4 foot this way. So let me head on up there and I will show you the materials. Alright, so I'm just using regular bricks, and I got these Home Depot for 50 cents a piece, so it took about 30 bucks, and it should have a few extra. I'm going to do it in a herringbone pattern just so it looks more interesting. It does, you do have to do a few more cuts, but I don't think it'll be that bad. Regular sand underneath, nothing fancy about it. And then this is the stuff that you're going to use for the top. Once everything's down, you're going to we're going to smear some of this on top, get it wet, fills in the cracks, and just helps lock everything in place. So I don't think this will be too bad, and I'll be excited to get this done. So let's get started. Okay, next we lay down the fabric. This next step is not really necessary for spaces this small, but I'm going to show you it just in case you need it. What they do, if they're paving large areas, you get a couple poles and you pour down the sand and you level it by sliding across another pole like that. Or you could do wood, whatever. 2x4s, something that's really straight, and it just helps spread out the sand really evenly. But something this small you can do by hand if you wanted. Let's take just a second and talk about how to draw the lines where you need to cut your brick. This one's going to be placed right here, but it's really difficult to figure out what you're doing. So I'm going to place this ruler here. It's going to go along this brick because the end of the brick is going to be right here. And I can measure, I'm keeping this straight here. I can measure, this is about 1 inch from here to here. So I know that this brick is going to be 1 inch here. I can scratch a little line, and that's where the cut's going to start that way. And if I take the ruler on this side, keeping this ruler parallel with the brick there, and then I'm going to measure how far. That looks like 3 3/4. So then I'm going to come to here, and I know that at 3 3/4. This is where the angle needs to go now. And I can join the two. And that's where we need to cut. I'm going to use my circular saw to cut the bricks, and let me tell you a little bit about these diamond blades. If you've never used one before, the teeth go in the opposite direction than what you're used to. See, normally this is how the saw blade would be installed, and it spins like that. But a diamond blade, the teeth are going to be angled this way when you install it, just so you know. And you definitely want to get some sort of rubber mat to cut on. It really stops the brick from sliding around. So this fits, wow, just perfectly. If it doesn't fit perfect, maybe move it over and try a different spot and see if you can get it to go in there instead. This one's a bit too big. Let's see if I can try over here. See if it fits in this spot here. No. Bit too big. It's too big for over there, but it does fit right here. And it's nice that the part that you cut off to get this one fits perfectly here with this pattern. Look at that. Great. Because this is curved, it was a lot more difficult to figure this out, but if you take a caliper like this, keep it lined up against the window well, you can scribe a line like that. With the way I'm cutting these bricks, the best way to get the most out of the brick is to cut off the smaller pieces that I need first and then cut off your bigger pieces. That way you have something to hold on to while you're working. So I need this little corner here for a tiny gap. I'm going to cut this line, then I'm going to cut this line, and I keep this big piece and I throw this middle section away. And there's just a little bit of cleanup on this one. now that all the pavers are cut and in place, we're going to use this polymeric sand, and this has special binders inside. Once it gets wet, it hardens and it stops weeds from growing through. It also stops the sand from just falling away or getting pulled out. So I'm going to spread it on, pound it a bit with a rubber mallet. Normally you'd use a mechanical compactor, but this place is just too small for that. It's going to fall through the cracks with the mallet. Then I'm going to brush off the excess, and then you get it wet, lightly wet, just mist it a bit, and then it should lock permanently. Just give every brick a few taps. Then if any gaps appear, you know you need to sweep on some more. And then go back and start again. So here we are 3 months later, and there's just one more thing I have to do. I've been watching the rain as it's hit this, seeing how much it puddles up, and this has been absolutely fine with no drain in the middle, but I do need to fill in these 2 drain holes here. I don't know if you can see them very well. I have a gap there and there, and the bricks just gently slope that way. It's almost unnoticeable, but the water does go that direction and it goes down those holes. Now eventually this will fill up with debris and rocks, so we're gonna fill those with these. These are kind of Brillo pads, scouring pads that you would get in the tile section, and this is what you would use to scrub down the grout after you tiled a tile floor. So these work great for allowing water to pass, but not allowing bugs and rocks and leaves to get caught down there. Let's take a look at the finished product here. I'm going to slide the well cover out of the way. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with the results. I think this looks great. It's a lot better than what we had before, which was a place for the spiders to hide down in the rocks. You had dirt fall in there and then the plants would grow. Every fall it's hard to get the leaves and debris out because it gets stuck on the rocks. So this is just an easy sweep, and I think it looks nice. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer. The only thing I have to do now is seal up this crack on both sides so that the spiders that love to live in there don't have a place to hide. And I think this will be a pretty good window well, a lot better than the others. So I think I'll leave this a year and see how it goes, and then I'll probably do the rest of them. Again, if you have a lot more rain, or if you're worried about rain, you might want to just put a drain in the middle instead of the weep holes on the sides. But I have a gentle slope that goes that way and the water just falls down the holes, and it's great. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you guys, and I'll see you next video. Take care.